How's it going, Gremlins? So today I'm going to be working on the motor that was sitting over here on the tire. This is the one that they said had some knock, or was starting to get knock. It's in pretty rough shape. So you can see the top two cylinders right there on the ends are pretty rough, but then you get to this one here and you can see it's rusted pretty bad. It's got lots of buildup and gunk on it. Same thing with this one here. This one's got some stuff where it looks like a mud wasp or dab or whatever you want to call it made a nest inside of there somewhere. I do know the block. Let's see if I can get it to focus on it. It's pretty rusted in spots. Then if you bring this cylinder back down, you can see the walls. They're all pretty nasty. So we're thinking that the head gasket went out on it, probably on this cylinder and maybe this one, judging by how it's got some rust on it also. Let me get it back down. No, it's not too bad. Along the top it's got some, but if you see on these two, there's not as much. That one's definitely got a little more rusting. So we're thinking maybe the head gasket went out. Definitely this one, maybe it leaked over to this one. And that's where the knock was coming from. So hopefully this was fixed. Get the heads fixed. They were really, really badly corroded. So I don't know if I have a photo of it or not, but I took those to the machine shop this morning. So we'll get those fixed, get the heads resurfaced or decked and cleaned up, and see if we can't get it put back together. I'm going to try to get this all cleaned up. Definitely need to get these cylinders cleaned. They're all fairly nasty. And clean up the top of this and see if there's any warpage or whatnot. So that's going to be the project for now. So I'll get back to you guys here in a little bit after I get this started. So it'll probably be a little bit later in the day when I get to it. So we'll see how this goes, and if I can save it, I'm going to try to not take the pistons and crank out. So it moves up and down nice and smooth. There's no catches or hinges. I mean, it sounds like it's got compression to it. I'll have to see if I can't find a way to check the compression on it. Maybe take like a vacuum tester and pull some vacuum and see what it says. So we'll go from there. But right now the plan is to try and get these cleaned up, get that rust out of there, clean this surface up and just the block in general, because it's pretty grimy and nasty. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's got some caked on goo. Got everything taped off, so I just used some blue painter's tape. The plan's to try to keep everything. Looks like I missed a spot there. I'll have to get kind of brushed and scrubbed, cleaned up. Try to get as little debris in the holes as possible. So this, I'm sure I'm going to try and flush it somehow, some way. I'm not sure exactly how yet. Maybe hook up a hose to it or something, to the coolant pipe or something along those lines, to try and flush this thing out. So I know it's going to be a project getting it cleaned, especially with all the rust and stuff inside these holes. So try to figure out where the oil passages are and what the coolant passages are, and try and rinse any residue and gunk out. I mean, last thing you need is to get it all the way put back together and it blows up because there's something jammed up inside of it. So we'll get to working on that too. More than likely I'll have to pull the oil pan and get that resealed up, just so I can clean anything, just straight shot all the way through for the oil passages and stuff. So lots of brake cleaner or something along those lines to clean it out. So I'm going to get to figuring out how I'm going to scrub these. Say more than likely some sort of wire brush. So I know a rag seems to do an okay job of wiping the stuff down. So maybe just soak it with some brake cleaner, so you can see it's coming off onto the stuff here. So soak it with some brake cleaner and try to get at least the piston heads cleaned up. Start working on the walls. Hopefully I don't got to take it all the way apart and hone it and bore it or whatnot, but we'll see as we get it more cleaned up and how bad it really is. Okay, so I got pretty much everything cleaned up. As you can see, each of the cylinders are nice and clean. So I got the head all cleaned up. So I still need to get the oil pan off and make sure everything's good underneath, but I'll get to that here in a while. So everything's nice and clean, moves nice and free. So I did spray the cylinders down with some oil. So I do need to kind of go through and clean them off with a rag and some more alcohol, maybe some transmission fluid. So to get the top mostly clean, So I just used a scraper, like one of, just like this. So just to get the big crud off. And then I went through with some 120 and some 240 and wet sanded it with some PB Blaster as lubricant. So I just the pressure of the, I guess the oscillating tool, I don't know exactly what that's called. Just the pressure of that, just to go through and kind of knock any of the stuff. So as you can see around a lot of the little holes and stuff, there was buildup on it. So just kind of went through and made sure everything was nice and clean. That way it should have a nice seal. There's no loose gunk or nothing like that I couldn't get with a scraper. Just used a crap ton of brake cleaner to wipe it down afterwards. And then went to the 240 grit and same thing, just soaked it with PB Blaster and just kind of wet sanded everything. So I'll go through before final assembly and clean everything up with some brake cleaner. So more than likely I'm going to need to hone the cylinders just from the rusted spots up top. So I'll probably run a ball hone down it. So I might run the 3-stone down at once just to see what it looks like and then hit it with the ball hone. But we'll look at that when it gets to that time. So right now the main thing was getting it cleaned up, making sure there's no major issues with it. So I don't see nothing, you know, super that stands out. Say most of the holes and stuff look fine. Say there's no like major cracks or nothing in the cylinder. It seems like it's got decent compression. So I'll have to see if I can't use the vacuum tester and see if I can vacuum test it, find a piece that fits over it. I know I got some different sizes. But right now I'm going to turn the attention over to this, get this cleaned up, get the headlights out of it so I can get this one fixed hopefully. I've got the other housing, so I might start just assembling this, just take the stuff out of it before I even try to get it out so I don't damage nothing, because it's, like stated before, welded in there nasty. So I'm not sure how the videos will line up, but probably have a small video or a quick one on this. It may be combined with some other stuff, I'm not sure, depends on how long this takes me to do. I do want to go through and clean everything, kind of sand anything that's rusted, get it all cleaned out. So we'll go from there. I do got some denatured alcohol, say some brake clean, and then up top I got some of the Zep Cherry Balm and Auto Degreaser. So I'm hoping between these three, along with some various, you know, some brass brushes, some power tool brushes, and some of the ones I bought the other day, I can get everything cleaned up, looking pretty, and then I can hit it with some primer and some black paint and hopefully make it look like a nice clean engine bay once more.